Hey, what's up? Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm mixing it up a little. So in addition to being a teacher, I am a mother. And in parenting and being in the education space, I get lots of questions from friends and family around various topics within the education space. One of the top ones is, what is the difference between an IEP, which stands for Individualized Education Program, and a 504 plan? And I am going to kind of break that down for you today. An IEP is based off of the law from IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So this provides specialized instruction and services. The idea behind an IEP is a student has one of 13 disabilities, which I'll break down, their specific disabilities, and they require special education services. So that word "and" is really the differentiation between these two things. A 504 plan is under the law, Section 504, which is where the number comes from, of the Rehabilitation Act. This is when we need to provide accommodations to ensure equal access. So a student might still have a learning disability, but they really just need access, not additional special education or supplemental special education. So that "and" word is really the differentiation between these two things. They're gonna get more accommodations like extended time, preferential seating, things like that. But they're not going to get specialized instruction. No specialized instruction would be required with a 504 plan. And that is why 504 plans are monitored by a school counselor and not actually the special education department. Hey, my light went out. Okay, sorry, I don't know, I had some technical difficulties. Well, so at the crux of it all, basically the kind of main difference maker is an IEP requires special education and accommodations, whereas a 504 plan will just require the accommodations. So largely, general education is sufficient for the student with different accommodations made by the teacher, help from home, different things like that. Whereas special education is a whole different branch where maybe students have to go to meet hours and different things with maybe an occupational therapist with perhaps a specialized SPED teacher. Now, remember a caveat to this video and in all things YouTube and life, I am a random lady from YouTube, okay? I also am not a special education teacher, but I've been in education long enough that I know these things and I know how they work. However, don't just run with my advice. Do some research and figure these things out for yourself if it's something you're really interested in. Okay, let's talk about the 13 specific disability categories that need special education. So we have specific learning disability, which would be like perhaps dyslexia, dysgraphia, something along those lines, autism spectrum disorder, speech or language impairment, OHI, which is other health impairment, which this would fall under the camp of like ADHD. Emotional disturbance would be number 5. Number 6, intellectual disability. Number 7, a hearing impairment. Number 8, a visual impairment. Number 9, deafness. Number 10, deaf and blindness. 11, orthopedic impairment. 12, traumatic brain injury. And 13, multiple disabilities. Now, I can't get into the nitty-gritty of how these are selected. A lot of students might meet the criteria of a lot of things on that list, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe they're meeting all 13, but you usually choose one primary disability that is listed at the top of your IEP, and that's kind of the focus, but kind of it's more of like your umbrella disability where the most needs can be captured under this. It doesn't mean we ignore the other ones that are there. It just means that this is going to be like the main thing. When you're in an IEP meeting and you're deciding, does this student qualify for an IEP? Basically, the key is that the disability must affect educational performance and require specialized education. Like I've said again, that is the main difference. Now, 504 plan, this will cover any physical or mental impairment that is substantially limiting to one or more major life activities. This would meet all of those disabilities under IDEA, okay? ADHD, even if it's just a mild case, anxiety, depression, diabetes, epilepsy, asthma, temporary injuries, you can even have one, like if you broke your leg or you broke your arm or your wrist, you can't write, things like that. Chronic illness, so of course like a cancer, or even if you have like an autoimmune disease such as Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, any condition that affects your learning, breathing, walking, seeing. There's not like a specific list with the 504, whereas an IEP, there's these 13 options. It's got to fall under one of these 13 options. That's not how 504s work. We can pretty much create a 504 around any condition that's affecting your life in a major way. Okay, so in summary, our takeaway is an IEP is more of a narrow, specific list, and it must need special education. A 504 is broad, it's more inclusive, and it actually just focuses on access. So are the students getting these accommodations to be able to access general education equitably? There you have it. Take it or leave it. That is the main differences between an IEP and a 504. Ta-ta!
Like and subscribe.